Hello everyone, welcome to Business Blaze. I am your host Simon, and in the video today we're basically looking over the whole can you buy essays on the internet thing. Are you going to get in trouble for it? How much is it going to cost? What are the kind of moral and legal implications? All of that good stuff. Also, I saw a video when someone got pretty hardcore blackmailed, so there's this. I got this written up. It's a topic that I found super interesting. I've been in university for like 10 years. This was kind of budding when I was there, but really today it seems to have exploded. Thank you to Lawrence for writing this one, and let's get into it, shall we? Remember back in the day when you would work your socks off to get an A or a B, then you'd get your report card and feel like you could do anything because you earned such a good grade? Yeah. Kids don't have to do that at all now. They just have to pay someone to do it for them, which is crazy. Also, this is quite American written. Like, I don't really know what a report card is. I assume it's like a card you get and it will have like grades on it. We had just marks, I think. I'm not even sure what they were called, but they weren't like A's or B's. It was like first, 2-1, 2-2, third. The kind of ones you don't want to get, the higher the better. It is now estimated that around 1 in 6 students are buying completed assignments from professional essay writers. 1 in 6 is huge. These sellers claim to offer things like original essays, term papers, dissertations, and other schoolwork in exchange for cold, hard cash, or probably, a Visa card transaction or whatever. They call it contract cheating, and think it sounds like something that would be really expensive? Well, it's not. These services are usually priced per page, and most outfits sell a page for around the same money as you'd expect to spend on a decent meal at a Burger King. Decent? I like Burger King, but like decent meal? I don't. And by the way, I just looked into this quickly because, a page, I wasn't really sure how, is that double spaced or 2 lines or all of that stuff, like what font size? Most of these websites seem to say it's about 275 words per page, so $10 a page. If you're wondering who the heck's offering these shady deals, the truth is it could be anyone. Ex-students, ex-teachers, postgrads, delivering undergraduate level work, or just any old writer who's trained themselves to produce work to current academic standards. The companies selling these essays are widely known as essay mills. So basically the essay mills are the intermediary. So you'll have like students who wants to buy an essay, you'll have the essay mill in the middle, and then anonymously on the other side you have all these people writing these essays that, this guy will then take a slice and this guy gets his essay. A couple of things here. I actually watched a couple of short documentaries on this subject. Most of the people just seem to be students or ex-students who are actually good at getting grades, and then they just write it on the side for a little bit of extra money. It's pretty perfect because perfect for the people who are writing it in an economic perspective, not in like a moral or legal or anything like that perspective, because you've got all these people, like good students, who need money because they're students, and then they can just write more essays. Also, I thought what could be a fun follow-up. This stuff's pretty cheap. We could get like a proper essay put together. If you're watching this and think you'd like to see a follow-up video where I can go to like an essay mill, I'll buy one, and then we can go through it together and see if it's actually any good. If you've got a topic idea, length idea, anything, let me know in the comments below. Upvote the ones you like, and I'll go to an essay mill, get something written, and we can go through it like we normally do. I hope it won't be The general idea is that you pay up and the essay mill gives you a piece of work that's worthy of a top grade. If you're playing by the rules, alright, what you're supposed to do is take this piece of work as a good representative example or an inspiration, and then produce your own original piece using it as a guide. Yeah, but realistically, it doesn't work that way. Once a student is handed an original plagiarism-free piece of grade A work, how many of them do you really think are gonna play fair and then make their own run from scratch? Evidently, the answer is not many at all. Obviously, wow, thanks for this really original, great piece of work. I'm definitely going to use this as inspiration. So how many students are actually doing this? Well, it's estimated that around 1 in 6, I think we said that already, 1 in 6, that works out to be about 31 million students have done this so far. I'm not really sure, 1 in 6, 31 million, is that global or regional? I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of students, however you want to look at it. If each of them is spending at least $10 on these obviously it's at least $10, because I didn't have to write many 275 word essays at university. Well, maybe when I was 11, like a piece of creative writing, 300 words. It's going to be $100, which $100 to me as a student was a lot of money, but it's writing an essay was a lot of work. Not saying that I ever would use these. It's also a growing market. It's also not like simple plagiarism, which is quite easy to detect with modern software like Turnitin. Indeed, as someone who reads these, like, I am very familiar with plagiarism checkers because you don't want all Lawrence here to be, not that Lawrence says, this is like original. I don't want to pick on Lawrence, but I do run these through like, I think it's Plagium is the one we use to make sure that people aren't ripping stuff off, because that would suck. Contract cheating is really hard to prevent because there's no real way you can tell whether or not a student has actually written the work they've handed in. There are ways you could potentially do this, but it does seem rather draconian. There's a website that I've used to hire like people before, which is called Upwork.com, and you have this option, which I rarely use. In fact, I don't think I use it at all, which is where if you've got someone working for you, like say they're editing videos, you can have the Upwork software record their screen while they log their time. And I was thinking, maybe we should start like recording the students doing their essays, because I don't know, how else are you going to do it? As you can probably imagine, the easiest way to find these services is online. Ads for essay writing services pop up on sites like YouTube, Facebook, and even through messaging apps like WhatsApp. I've never seen any advertising on WhatsApp, but I've heard it exists. Also, this doesn't happen to me, although it probably will now because I was looking up essay writing services before I stepped into the studio today. Yeah, I'm probably going to be retargeted the shit out of. Students spend a lot of time on platforms like these, obviously, so for a lot of them, it's only a matter of time before they consider these kinds of services in a pinch or just when they're feeling extra lazy. And I can totally see how this would work, even for, you know, not your super dishonest student, but for your regular person who's like, oh, I was sick and then this happened, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the essay service and just have it written this one time. And you're like, well, that was easy. And then the next essay comes along and you're like, oh, screw it, I'm just gonna get it done online. If you're thinking, surely there must be some way to check past work to see if it's different, this is actually a pretty easy hurdle for cheaters to get around. This is the thing, like if I'm like your lecturer at university and I'm familiar with your work, and then I'm reading it and it's completely different to how it is before, I'm like, well, you didn't write that, did you? A lot of companies doing this essay writing, well, this is pretty easy. A lot of essay companies offering this service will just offer to match a customer's writing style. They set you up with a dedicated writer who you can live chat with. You give them all the requirements and they produce a piece of work that ticks all the boxes. This is seeming like a really good deal. Like, if I can chat with a person, they have to read all my work to learn my style, and it costs me like $100 for a few thousand words. This is a really good deal. Please leave suggestions, because I would be dead keen to see if someone is actually, if people can actually do decent essays for like $100. Surely not. Then all of these websites, they're like 98% customer satisfaction. I don't get it. The cost depends on the subject, the amount of work needed, the time frame, and the standards that need to be met. Where single pages can cost less than $20, longer assignments can be worth hundreds. One very popular example of these companies is buyessays.net. They charge $13 per page for an assignment that has at least 2 weeks before the deadline. I also went through a bunch of other sites just to see kind of what they were offering, and just because I find it interesting, I just decided to like max out all of the options. So I typed in what it would take for me to get a PhD, so like a doctoral dissertation. I looked up the median size for like a PhD doctoral dissertation. It was 150 pages. And I said, can you make this for me in 4 days, please? And they quoted me $4,500. For that amount of work, and for that being a PhD doctoral dissertation, seems, it's a lot of money, but extraordinarily cheap. Don't you have to do like original research and like lab work or whatever to do like, I thought you had to like publish that. I know nothing about academia. It's been a long time. Is that even possible? Anyone who's like in academia, let me know. Use the comments. I know there's going to be a lot of random comments on this one. That's cool. I will read them. I try and read them all. This rise in homework hacking has led to lawmakers in the US and across the globe taking action. The government is starting to crack down on contract teaching services as more and more students resort to buying their way through school. This type of service undermines the entire educational system, and as you'd imagine, it's pretty much being treated as a fast-spreading epidemic. If everyone can cheat, how are we meant to tell the bright kids from the dum-dums? It's a good question. Although really, how are you going to legislate against this? Globally, it's on the internet. Surely you can't stop the production. You've got to find clever ways to catch the students. Surely. Or make the punishment like extreme. Like, you get caught once, you don't get a degree. This is a real problem. I can see why this is tricky. So what exactly can be done about it? Maybe Lawrence will know. In New Zealand, as well as in several US states, this kind of service has been completely banned. Again, fantastic, ban it, but I mean, they're just set up in a different country. It's the internet. Australia and Ireland look to be the next countries willing to adopt similar laws to stop cheating in its tracks. stop cheating in Extract. This is just not going to work. How is that going to work? Oxford Essays is a leading essay mill in the UK, boasting the sale of around 70,000 essays to date. I don't know if that's a lot, it seems like a lot. Earlier this year, the Advertising Standards Authority gave Oxford Essays a spanking for posting misleading claims on its website. They basically tried to say that their services are risk-free for all students. Well, yeah, but what if you get caught? We'll give you your money back. Yeah, thanks guys. What about my degree? Assuming that you got kicked out of university, which seems fair. Anyone who believes there is such a thing as completely risk-free treating kind of deserves to get conned a little bit. Kind of agree, Lawrence. I do agree. The plagiarism direct detection app Turnitin has updated its software to help seek out signs that students have paid for their assignments. It does this by detecting inconsistencies in a student's writing. It notices new habits like more Oxford commas than usual or double spacing after periods where the student was only using a single space before, and this app can flag it up. This seems like it's super easy to get around. You could just, if you've got examples of the student's previous work and the double spacing and all of this stuff, you can just copy that exactly. I really hope that Turnitin has better ways of detecting this and they're just not making it public. But as soon as they make it public, it's like, guys, we checked for double spacing after the full stop. Then the essay mills will just be like, okay, well, we're going to do that too. And indeed, like a lot of these ones, when I was looking online, they have like, we will plagiarism check this for you as like an additional service for free. This is just not smart enough. These kinds of detection techniques are handy, but it's still close to impossible to prove that someone has actually cheated. I mean, this isn't a court of law, so to prove someone has actually cheated, you can just be like, I don't know, it depends, I guess, what the charter of the school is and what the rules at the university are. You don't have to prove, like, beyond all reasonable doubt that someone's cheated. It's just, you know, if they want to kick you out of university because they think you're cheating, they will. It's really unlikely a school will go ahead and take action, single out students and say, hey, we think you've cheated. I don't know, maybe they will. They probably should. So as it stands, the truth is that contract cheating does carry very little risk. The only real way to stop it is to change the entire education system to test students in ways that can't be completed by others. Yeah, so you could like track them using that software on the computer, or have them just write, or just switch to an entirely exam-based system where you have to write the essay then and there in the exam room. But you can't do that with longer stuff like dissertations. This is I can see why in this video we're not going to come up with a solution to like essay mills, but boy, is it a problem. So who gets hurt the most from this craze? Well, obviously it's the poor dorks who are actually putting in the hours busting their balls to do their own work. If you're one of those guys, you're going to be pretty damn angry at the current state of play, but don't worry, by the looks of things, change is coming slowly but surely. I disagree, Lawrence. I don't think that things are going to change very easily. I think this is going to become a much bigger problem. I just don't think there's any good ways to combat it. I think it's such an international thing that it's going to be incredibly difficult. I'm glad that this was not really a thing 10 years ago when I was at university. Or maybe it was, maybe it's just a bit more underground, but I never even really considered it. Lawrence has got some bonus facts for us, so let's jump in. If you're in a rush, some essay mills offer to complete work for deadlines that are as close to 4 hours away. Expect this to cost about $39 per page or more. Yeah, like I said, that PhD one is like $4,500 for 150 pages. I'm not sure what that works out to be, but if it's super close to the deadline, then it will cost more. Although 4 hours, if you're like, oh man, I got an essay due in this morning, and you can just go to one of these sites and have it done. And now for another bonus fact. The UK is also making moves against contract cheating. Oh, good luck with this, guys. We're banging this point home, aren't we? In 2018, the UK's Secretary of Education was pressed to make essay mills completely illegal, so it seems only a matter of time before the law hits hard UK cheaters. Good luck. Good luck with that, guys. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Suggestions. If you want us to do that essay mill video, go to an essay mill and get something made up. I'd like subject suggestions, and whether you just want it below, upvote it with the little thumbs up thing if you think it's a good idea. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, bell, all that good stuff. Oh, and also suggestions for regular videos. If you've got a business blaze video, a subject that you would like to see, this was my idea, this channel is new, right now all of these ideas are mine. I'd like to make your ideas so we can learn them together. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.